It's like I always say, guys, sometimes you are the statue, sometimes you are the pigeon, and we all know what we were yesterday. You can see it in the banner there what the score was. In case you're not on message, we lost 3-2 at home to Leeds United. Okay, before I get into all that, just two things I want to say. Please don't forget to like, comment on, and share the stream. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for alerts on new content. And as always, guys, we thank you very much indeed for your support. And we would also like to ask you to also support Isla's campaign, the campaign to basically help her family out. You can always find this information that's on this banner. You can always find it. It's always there in the description below YouTube and Facebook. Copy and paste it, put it on your socials, and get the message out there that this family needs our help and assistance. If you've got a few quid that you can put in the pot, please feel free. There is the Just Giving link there, as you can see. No donations too small. As always, though, please give as generously as you can. And as always, we thank you very much indeed for your support. Duke, unfortunately, is having a little bit of IT troubles, as you can see from that message. He's having a little bit of a problem. He may join at some point, but we'll just go with it. Pete, hope you are well, my friend. Okay, right. So, hang on. Where is it? No, it's there. I got to get used to this pressing buttons, Lark. You thought I'd have been used to it by now. I've been doing it for nearly a year. Okay, right. I'll go full screen with that. So that was the 11 that David Moyes chose. Now, if I do say so myself, I got that 100% spot on in the match preview. Despite two people in the live chat at the time, one who said that I'd been drinking and another one said it was a Gatesy fail. Well, I got it 100% right. I got the formation correct. I got the personnel correct. There you go. Not so much of a fail. And if I was drinking, then maybe a bit more of it is required. No real shocks there. I mean, Souček was still out with COVID. He's kept the same back four from the Norwich game, the same goalkeeper from the Norwich game. Yeah, pretty much as you were. No real shocks there in my view. We then come to the Leeds United lineup that Marcelo Bielsa put out. Now, he had a torrid time with injuries and suspensions and goodness knows what else. Again, with this, I didn't quite get the formation right. I put that he'd go 4-2-3-1. He switched it up a bit. He went 4-1-4-1. However, in terms of the personnel, I got 10 out of 11. Not bad. The only one I got incorrect was I had Kjeld in for Strujic. But other than that, I got everybody else bang on the money. There was no Patrick Bamford. He wasn't anywhere to be seen. And he wasn't even, as you can see there, he wasn't even on the bench. Our bench, it's the usual suspects, isn't it? It was Yarmolenko, Fredericks, Masuaku, Johnson, Krau, who I'm starting to think, what has he got to do to get a game? Seriously, it's the same old story. We've brought the guy in on loan, and he's barely got a kick. I don't know about you, but whenever I've seen him play, I've actually been fairly content with the performances that he's put out. But for some strange reason, David Moyes just doesn't seem to fancy him. He seems to have Masuaku and Yarmolenko as ahead of him in the pecking order. I mean, it was nice to see Sonny Perkins get on, but yeah, I think that was basically a token gesture. But there you go. Right, hang on. I'm going to put me back in the screen. So I'm just going to come back to your comments, guys, before we go too much further. Whilst I've been rabbiting on, who have we got? We've got Steve. Yep, all good, mate. All good. Hope you are likewise as well. Neil from Down Under. Oh, Neil from Down Under. 7:31 a.m. Well, that now be a little bit later than that, but hey ho. Yeah, you're telling me, Sharky. He's just saying hello and da-da-da-da. Yeah, he probably can't happy. What can you do? Here you go. Yep, I'm all good, Budge. Happy birthday. I did send you a message on Facebook. People just saying hello to each other. Bum. Da-da-da. More hellos and happies and people waving at each other. Rob and Steve and Richard and blimey. So we can blame you and Moyes for that team then? No, I could just see it coming. I could see it coming a mile off the team that he was going to play. I had alarm bells ringing, and I don't know about you guys. I had alarm bells ringing when the team was announced for the Leeds game in the Cup the week before. He went pretty much full 11, pretty much, other than probably the fullbacks, and even then that's possible. Well, I'd say probably Fredericks is, you could say he's definitely a second string fullback. Johnson, I'm not too sure. Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on. Hello. There you are. Where you been hiding?
Let's not. Let's just not. Let's just
okay.
not. Joey, should we just leave it there and let's just not? Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's well. I hope you are as well, sir. Good to see you.
Likewise. Just on that comment there, yeah, it is. It is pretty predictable, Rob, and that's why I got 11 out of 11 in the pre-match. I called it absolutely correctly. I could see exactly where we were heading. But as I say, just going back, and I'll just bring you in there, Duke. My alarm bells were ringing when the team was announced for the game a week earlier against the same opposition in the FA Cup, where he pretty much he's went as strong as he probably could, and he's pretty much played more or less the same 11 in 3 consecutive games, but for a couple of switches in Areola played in the cup game. He didn't play subsequent 2 games. Johnson and Fredericks obviously played in the cup game. But other than that, pretty much everybody else has been used all 3 games back to back in the space of a week. Now, hindsight, I know is perfect vision, but I could kind of see this coming a mile off. That by the time we got to this game, there was going to be a few players that were running on fumes. And I to be honest, I think that's how it looked to me. What was your assessment?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I watched the game from behind the bar. I ended up working through it. Cyber turned up, which was nice. We caught the second half together, and you know what, Rob? Exactly that, mate. Exactly that. And even he admitted himself that Antonio was blown out of his arsehole on about 75, 80 minutes. So,
yeah,
you know, what else did he expect? I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I kind of hope that you know, I wanted the stronger players to play. Let's not mess around. Yeah, you're welcome, Bud. Happy birthday, buddy. Glad you had a good time. It's good to see you, Cam and Kerry. Kerry came over today. It was nice to see Kerry today.
Oh dear. You're stirring up. You're poking a bear with a sharp stick. You are.
Listen. I was the bear that was poked for most of the afternoon, Gatesy. I'll be honest with you. She was poking the bear today. Listen. She comes across as such a lovely little thing. Such a sweet little thing she does, right? And then she rocks up at the pub, Rob, and it's poke, 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 poke. That's what she does.
Really? She's a poker.
She's a poker. She pokes the bear, Rob, and then wonders, you know. Yeah. But it's good. It was good to see you today, Kerry. Thank you for coming along. Get that bowl out. No, listen. I was glad to see. I was glad to see that he played the stronger players, but by his own admission, they're blowing out their arsehole. So, what else does he expect is going to happen? Like, if we had options that were not, and Budgie, Cam, and Happy and I, we discussed. We had no options. The fact that yes, seriously, young lady, seriously, I say young, 30 years younger than me, doesn't look it.
Well, you say we had no options. I mean, do you seriously? I mean, I was saying earlier about Crowell. I'm not being funny. I mean, I'm assuming David Moyes has brought this guy in. He's barely used him.
Listen, I said to the guys earlier. I was very surprised to see Lanzini sitting deep. I wasn't pissed off or upset or annoyed. Good evening, West Ham Online. I don't know if we'll call your name now or not. Good to see you. Yeah, I was disappointed to see Lanzini deep, but not disappointed to see Lanzini deep. But as the game went on, I really thought we missed his incisive passing and his ball retention further forward. Listen, Kerry, stop it. Stop it. You know, I did say that I would have rather have seen Crowell start and Fornells off the bench, giving Lanzini the left-hand side and Vlasic playing at the 10. Now, you know, I wasn't surprised to see us go 1-0 down. Pete did message me earlier in the day and say that he expected us to go in at half-time 1-0 down. I wasn't concerned because Pete had foreseen it. That's the word.
It looked into the tea leaves.
It looked into his can of cider, and that was what was in the bottom of it. Now, I have to say, as the game went on, we did look like we were struggling.
Yeah.
Promises, young lady. Promises. Listen, by his own admission, we were blown out of our arsehole. You know what I mean? And our only options off the bench in the grand scheme of things were, and by this I mean going forward, were, you know, a couple of young lads, Yarmolenko and Masuaku. And you just look, again, Troch is right. You know, I was concerned. Now, again, like I say, Antonio, no one needs to apologise for me, Kerry. Thank you. We need a striker. We need a second option up front that's not a kid. Don't get me wrong. The youngsters are good and they will get their chance and their chance will come. But we need a striker.
Yeah,
we knew
have
this
done for about a year now, haven't we?
Yeah, we knew this back in January last year. We knew this throughout the summer. We knew this in December when we were waiting for the transfer window to open. And what have we done about it, Rob?
Not a lot.
Fuck all. Right? I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but, you know, the four of us earlier were discussing. Kerry was there. And I'm going to keep going. We discussed the fact that Moyes is very much, you know, I have the players that I want, they're just not available. Then fucking get someone else. Because I'm telling you now, the team is suffering for it. You know, he wanted El Nesri, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
El Nesri wasn't available, so we did fuck all else. We looked at no one else, Rob.
Have you heard the latest rumour?
No, go on. Carlton Cole coming out of retirement?
Not quite.
Please don't tell me, Tevez.
That.
Fuck off. I'll tell you now, I'll be done. I'll walk away. I will walk away if that fucker pulls on the favourite blue shirt again.
That's the rumour doing the round. The story is he was at the training ground today. Not anything going on. He was just popping by to say hello to people and this, that, and the other.
No.
He still lives locally. His contract at Reading is either ended or it's about to come to an end. And they're talking about on a pay-as-you-play deal. Could it happen?
Please listen. It's like fucking bringing Allardyce back again. We can't go backwards. Yeah, Tom, I liked Andy Carroll. You're right, I did. That was when we were struggling and we were trying to come out of the championship.
That was when he was about 25. He's now 33.
We were playing fucking hoofball. Now, no, please, no. Just no. No.
And that's the other one. He's possibly going to Brentford.
Oh, fuck off.
Christian Eriksen.
Listen, how are we not in the mix for someone like Eriksen? Because I think he'd fit. I really think he'd fit. How are we not in the mix for someone like Felipe Coutinho? Right? How are we not in the mix for that shit? Why? What? Yeah, do you see what I mean?
Gerrard.
I get he's got a Villa because of Gerrard. I get that, and I appreciate that. But how are we not in the conversation? How are we not there going, get your ass here? And he goes, well, I turned my stand down because I wanted to work with Steven Gerrard. Right?
Yeah.
Yes, I get that. But we weren't even in conversation, Rob. Weren't even in conversation. And then what you look at is a rival of ours possibly next season, not necessarily this, have just strengthened tenfold because he will be there next season. Listen, if I can't even with that one. I ain't even got the energy all the time. No, I'm going to agree with Tom. Andy Carroll was not our worst ever signing.
Oh, Cyber, no. The guy couldn't cut it at Huddersfield. He ain't going to do it in the Premier League.
Sadly. If you're saying that, then we might as well go get Nathan Holland and put him in the first team squad. It's not going to work.
It's not. No chance. Mipo Odebeko has gone to Huddersfield, and for whatever reason, and he will probably blame Huddersfield, he'll blame probably anyone, but the modern world, people don't take responsibility for their own actions or inactions, so he'll blame everybody else. But at the end of the day, Mipo Odebeko hasn't set the world alight at Huddersfield in the Championship. What on earth makes you think that he's going to do anything for a Premier League team that's gunning? Whether we get it is another matter, but gunning for fourth place. He's not going to do it. But, listen, yesterday, it was a bad day. I mean, I thought both our fullbacks were awful. I thought they were absolutely shocking. What was your take on where? I mean, I thought Diop had a crap game as well. I thought he was absolutely useless.
Mate, they're running on empty, and I saw a lot of this. In fact, I've seen a lot of this online today. A lot of it. You know what? He's got a point. I've seen a lot of it online today, and last night and today. It bugs me, Rob. Right? I'd like to see, and I know the comment I'm going to get back in the chat. I know what's coming, so I'm going to prepare myself for it by heading it off at the pass. Oh, they're professional footballers. They should be able to do. Right? I know what's coming. Right? These guys are blowing out of their arsehole. There is no two ways about it.
Yep.
Now, yes, they had a bad game, but how much of that bad game is down to not just physical fatigue, mental fatigue, Rob? Like they're on their arse. These two boys, Dawson and Diop, right? They're really struggling because they're not the guys that we expected to be playing X amount of runner games.
No, and Dawson's apparently got an injury, isn't he?
Yeah, and and the rest of the boys, they're just struggling. No, listen, Tom, I get that they are professional footballers. I get that. Listen, but they've only got. Listen, you can't tell me that although they're professional footballers, that their mental strength and their physical strength is going to be there to play the kind of minutes that they've been playing consistently over and over and over and over again. I get what you're saying, and I knew what was coming because I get this quite often. But there comes a time in everyone's work week. Let's be honest, Rob. How often do you come home from work and go, "Fuck, I don't think I can do it again tomorrow"?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that just because these are professional athletes that they don't feel the same. That they've come back off of playing all of this and everything else that goes on. They're going to be struggling, and I really do believe they're going to be struggling. So, you can put their form down to they're just shit. But, I'm all right, mate. Thank you. Cheers. I just think that they're running on empty. A lot of these players are running on empty. Now, you can blame Moyes for this. You can.
He's definitely culpable. I don't think he's shuffled the pack anywhere near enough, and I think
I don't think he's got the players to shuffle the pack, Rob, in that sense of the word. I know what you're saying about using some of the youngsters and maybe not necessarily throwing the FA Cup or in a situation. Then but I feel that if we'd had stronger depth. I really do believe that if we'd had stronger depth,
Mm-hmm.
And by that, I don't mean very much. I think what got and what I believe to be the truth from people I've spoken to is what got Benitez the sack is that they're not trying to replace the players in the first team. They're not interested in creating, strength in depth of, 2 or 3 players per position that are really going to push each other to be better. Not being funny,
Well,
we
that's it.
discussed
Who is
Antonio.
Yarmolenko pushing
No one.
by him being on the bench? Who's
But then neither is
Masuaku
Diop or
pushing?
Dawson. But then neither Diop or Dawson, Gatesy, when the other 2 are fully fit. We were all sitting there yesterday, every single one of us, every single Claret and Blue fan, everyone with the irons running through their blood was sitting there yesterday going, where's Duma? Shit. Despite the fact that we know he's not quite ready, every single one of us were praying for his return.
Who does he come in for, though, Duke? Which one of those 2 does he replace? Because I thought
for me, Dawson.
I thought, really?
Yeah. I think Zuma has a better tactical understanding with Zuma than I have seen with Dawson. Maybe it's because they converse in the same language.
Yeah.
Is what it is. However you want to work it.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, he comes in for him. But here we are looking at it, going, you know what? We should be having 4 centre backs that are pushing each other week in, week out for a starting berth in our first team lineup. Not okay. These 2 can play in Europe, and these 2. It shouldn't be the case. There should be 4 central defenders, 2 left backs, 2 right backs that are really pushing each other for that first team berth every week. We shouldn't be sitting here going, well, Rice and.
That's where I'm at with it.
Do we blame Bowen for his missed header at the end of the game?
I would say that's more forgivable than a centre back ducking a header.
Yeah, no, he needs a punch in the face for that.
I would say that I know what you're saying. Bowen, I mean, to be honest with you, you'd say that Bowen, the form he's been in, you'd put your money on him. But
yeah, but listen, the ball took a bad deflection. He timed his jump.
I think that helped him.
All kinds of wrong. No, I don't think it. Well, yeah, I think he might have done, but then I think we might have ended up, if it doesn't take that deflection, we end up with a Di Canio style goal from the Wimbledon game, because it's going to be waist height and he's already jumped. He's thinking the ball's coming in higher. It hasn't. He probably could have adjusted to use his feet, Rob, if it stayed low. It didn't. It kind of looped up, and he's already above the ball for the header, which means he has to. Don't get me wrong. He's half got some power behind it.
Yeah,
he's half got some power behind that shit.
Yeah, I mean, there's part of me that thinks it should be Dawson from the point of view that if he's carrying an injury, which we're told he has been playing through an injury, then it should be him just simply for that fact alone. However, out of the 2 of them yesterday, and I'm not saying that Dawson exactly played like, Franco Baresi or anything like that, but I thought he was the lesser of the 2 evils, if I'm being completely honest, at centre back. Diop.
Yeah. But again,
I mean, for me, I thought there was, I could possibly, with Cresswell, I think he was okay-ish. I think he was at fault for the first goal, but I thought Kufau had one of his worst games in a claret and blue shirt yesterday. And I will go on to say, is credit to Leeds and a fantastic achievement by Jack Harrison. I take my hat off to him to go away when your team's been absolutely decimated and ravaged with injuries and suspensions and one thing and another. Our issues are not their issue, and they've rocked up 7 days after they were at the same stadium against the same opposition when they got turned over 2-0, and they've turned it around. And credit to them. The best team won. I've got no problem with that. But I do think that, like I say, I could kind of see this coming from the FA Cup game when he put the team out that he did. He then put virtually the same team out against Norwich, and he put virtually the same team out against Leeds, back to back to back. I'm like, that just demonstrates our squad depth is not where it needs to be. And let's have it right. David Moyes has to take some responsibility for that. Listen, I'll say David Moyes, since he's been in, has done a magnificent job in terms of the results, in terms of what he's got to work with, blah, 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 blah. But he also does have to take some responsibility that in that time, he should have done more to pack out that. We should have a bench that we should be able to look at. I mean, I'm not saying we should have a bench like a Manchester City or a Liverpool, where you just look at it and it's superstar names wherever you look.
Yep.
But we should be able to have a bench that is comparable with teams like, say, Leicester City, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Aston Villa, where at least you can look and you can go, well, if it ain't happening, we've got this player, this player, this player, or this player that's a game changer that can come on and bang, change the problems for the opposition. Where do you see that from our bench, Duke? You look at Yarmolenko, you look at Masuaku, you look at with all due respect to him when he's on the bench, he wasn't yesterday, but Mark Noble. Is he, with all due respect to Mark Noble, is Mark Noble going to fundamentally change a game? No, not really. He'll come on in the last sort of like 15, 20 minutes of game where you're maybe 2-1 up, 1-0 up, whatever, and you're trying to just see the game out. Fine. But if you're chasing a game, that's not the sort of player you want to be bringing on, with all due respect to Mark Noble.
Yeah, but that's the same as we said for Yama. Steve, yes, thank you, sir. Yeah, I sent you the message earlier, Robert, didn't I? At your present. Thanks, Steve. You have to come and get it, Rob. As someone said, why does Moyes keep persevering with Yarmolenko? And
I have no idea.
He's got no one else, Rob.
Oh no, I'm sorry, I can't have that. I would rather have Okoflex having a go. Come on.
No, but
we
listen,
know what Yarmolenko's gonna do.
Listen, I don't disagree. I don't disagree. But my argument is, do you really think that Okoflex, and I say the same thing about that Yarmolenko, do you really think that they're going to come on and change the game for either of them? Either of them. The answer is no.
What, Yarmolenko or Masuaku?
Or Okoflex? Do you think Okoflex is going to walk on?
How do we know until he's given a chance?
Yep, listen. But
I agree with that. Okoflex over Yarmolenko every day.
There needs to be better players on the bench or in the first team. There has to be. If we want to be consistent,
if Okoflex is good enough? He's not given a chance.
Because he's not even getting in the first team, mate.
Then why put him on the bench? If you've got no intention of using him,
he's got
why
no
put
one
him
else.
on the bench?
He's got no one else. There's no one else to fill the gaps right now.
He didn't
give Perkins to go. He gave them all of about 4 minutes.
I think he had a bit more than that.
I think, including injury time, I think he maybe got 7. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that we're currently sitting here arguing over the fact that we need to be looking at the kids when, you know what? What we need to do is, we're a top 4 side, and we need to be going out and buying fucking players right now. We need to be going out and buying players that aren't just going to be coming in and willing to sit on the bench. I want to see someone coming in and telling Antonio, this shirt is now mine, come and get it back. Come and get it back. I want someone coming in and saying to Fornals, I want someone coming in and saying to Ben Rama and Vlasic, I've got your shirt, come and get it back. Because I'm bored of seeing no real competition for these guys. I really am. For a top 6 side last season and a top 4 side, you don't want to know my thoughts, Steve. It's embarrassing that we have none. It's embarrassing that we don't have those players.
Yeah, we might.
And
There's a rumor doing around. We might have Ben Rama back for the Man United game if things go a certain way.
Yeah, well, listen, they're out.
No. But they drew their first game. They lost their second game, and basically they need a result against Ivory Coast.
Is it tomorrow?
I think it's Ivory. No, it's Thursday.
Right. Okay.
And they reckon that if they get knocked out, I saw something online that said that you remember when Antonio was with Jamaica and they chartered a jet to bring him back a little bit lively. That if Algeria get knocked out on Thursday, that they could do the same again for Ben Rama and have him at least available from the bench potentially for the game against Manchester United.
I really think we need him back. I feel we're
Blasic hasn't done enough, has he?
No, not really. I mean, Kieran. I think Kieran's right. We're arguing about which crap player we should bring on, and that's the problem.
Exactly. Not a bench of game changers. That's my point. It's a bench of same old.
What have I done, Kerry? Tell me. Anyway, so just getting a load of shit offline. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, you're getting messages.
Do you, Gacy? So I'm gonna come back to Steve's. Steve's put it in a message just there. Yeah. What are your thoughts, mate? You know mine.
I'd rather not, but if it's a choice between Andy Carroll on a pay-as-you-play deal until the end of the season or nothing, what are you going to take? I don't want it. It's not my default option, trust me. But if we don't sign him and it's on a pittance of a fee, if he doesn't play, he don't get any dough. Simple as that. But if he comes on and he scores or assists or this, that, and the other, then it gets topped up until the end of the season. If it was that or nothing, you'd have to hold your nose and go for it, wouldn't you? I don't think you've got a choice. But that's a sad indictment of a team that's gunning for fourth.
But then I say we shouldn't go back. Yeah, that's exactly what we did with Moyes. So, I mean, you can't go one way and then you can't have one way and then change your mind and go the other when it suits you. You know, here I am saying we shouldn't be going back, yet we went back and got Moyes, and look how that's worked out for us.
That is true.
Listen, regardless, right? Regardless, and as I said earlier to the guys that were here, if we go get Carroll, and if Carroll comes back, and as Neil says there, as I said before, I'd rather Carroll come on late than Yarmolenko. I think he's got one. I will support whatever player wears the claret and blue.
Mm-hmm.
When Masuaku steps onto that pitch, as much as I am going, I will still get behind him while he's on the pitch and want him to do well because he's a West Ham player. I don't think he's going to do well. That's neither here nor there. But if Carroll comes back, I will get behind Carroll. I will support Carroll because he's wearing the club badge of my team. You know what I mean? So it's one of them.
Yeah.
I feel it's I don't want him to come back. If he comes back, I will wholeheartedly support.
Yeah, it's not a move that I think is progressive. Let's put it that way, because we got rid of him for a reason. And I am a big believer in the old mantra, never go back. And there are exceptions to the rule. And obviously David Moyes is a testament to that. But generally speaking, there are very few situations when a player or manager goes back to a club where they've plied their trade previously and done as well or better than they did the first time. It very rarely happens.
Mark's got in on this conversation. I'd have Saka or Valencia back.
Valencia plays for Fenerbahce. I was asked the question the other day who he played for, and I
thought he was in prison.
What, Enner Valencia?
Yeah, for not paying child maintenance or whatever it was that he was chased around the pitch and then decided he went off injured, Rob, didn't he? When he was playing an international game, and the old Bill turned up at the stadium, and he feigned an injury to get stretched off.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that. So I agree. I agree with what English Yardie's saying. It is not a progressive move. As I say, there's not very many times that a player or manager goes back to their former club and does as well or better than they did before. But if it was a case between Carroll on a pay-as-you-play deal until the end of the season, or no one, which means that we've got no other option when Antonio is injured, struggling, whatever, then, like I say, well, yeah. But
I'll tell you what, the cardboard cutouts would be better than having Andy Carroll up front.
Really?
Just.
Did you see those 2 goals that he got for Reading the other day, although both got chalked off?
I could have done that. It's championship. That's just perspective, Robert. Perspective, right? Although I do agree with Kieran there. Band-aid rather than bleeding to death. But I just, is it a band-aid that's going to work? That's the question. That's the question.
Yeah. But there you go. But I mean, was there any standout performers from yesterday's match that you saw in claret and blue? There's 2 that I'm thinking of.
I think it'd be one of the ball boys, and the bloke in row H, where Fulkit Wanker, I think he did really well. Other than that, I really don't have myself made, to be honest with it. It was painful.
I'd say Rice and Bowen for me. I thought they looked like they were having a go. I mean, I thought Declan was trying to carry the ball forwards because he saw that no one else was doing anything. Bowen,
but the problem was he was in that too far forward ahead of Lanzini. That was the issue.
But he had to. What option did he have? If he didn't do it, no one else was doing it. Alexis Sanchez.
Come up with a couple.
Christ.
Yeah, I was about to say he's got that, and he's obviously got Patrick Schick.
He was mentioned in the summer, Sanchez. I remember that. Not sure. I'd say he. If we were getting the Alexis Sanchez Arsenal version, brilliant. If we were getting the Manchester United version, no thanks.
Tell me where Alexis Sanchez fits in our squad, though.
I don't think he does, quite honestly.
We've got. I personally think we've got better in the positions we've got. Oh, I tell you what. Me and her, I tell you, we're going to fall out.
I sense a divorce might be incoming. And
I think there may well be very much a divorce between me and Terry.
I don't think you are. Oh, she's doing it again. She's not going to like you.
She's been that person today.
Oh,
she had a drink and she became that person.
Oh, hello. What's this? Burnley has just cancelled their match against what?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow. Really? How many games have they got to catch up on now?
I think that might be 5.
Wow.
But did you hear about Munich, Rob? What Munich did at the weekend?
Yeah, they had a load of 15-year-olds or whatever that had not got a single minute of Bundesliga action on the bench rather than cancelling the game. And that's the thing. I mean, Gary Neville said that. They've not in continental Europe, I don't think, certainly not as far as the Bundesliga is concerned, I don't believe La Liga either. They haven't cancelled a game.
Yep.
And we've got, 23, 24 matches that have been postponed. And because I don't know if you saw the pre-match that we did where I was talking to Ben and I said about this thing that Jurgen Klopp had said latterly after the game that they got 13 false positives. 13 false positives. And I'm like, right, well, one of 3 things is going on there.
There you go.
Got dodgy batch of lateral flow tests. You've either got someone that's incompetent at administering the tests, or it's a load of bollocks. I know what my money's on.
There seems to be a lot of cancellations because teams don't think that what they've got is going to help win games. You're looking at too many teams that are the Arsenal Spuds game, mate. Prime example, the Arsenal Spuds game.
Was it one confirmed case?
Yeah. Arsenal are allowed to cancel because they've got too many out, but they don't think that their team is going to be able to beat the Spuds. I'll tell you now, that's what it is.
Yeah, but I had, again, we covered this in the pre-match, Ben and I was like, they're turning around saying we've got players away at the AFCON. Excuse me, did you not know that they're African when you signed them? And you do realise that they do this every 2 years in January, every other year, that you've got to let them go. And if this is something that's an inconvenience to you, don't fucking sign them.
There it is. For me, that's the main one, isn't it?
Don't sign them. If you can't take, you've got to take responsibility for your actions in life. And that's it right there. Oh dear, we've lost X amount of players to the African Cup of Nations. We've been given an out by the Premier League. We'll take it. And I just think that this rule needs to be tightened up. But the thing is, it's too late now for this season. I don't think you can, now that the precedent's been set for this season. I mean, I'm not being funny. If you let's say that we wanted to delay the Manchester United game just for the purposes of discussion. If they turned around to us and said, no, you can't do it, we've got every right to turn around and go, well, hang on a minute. There's been this case, this case, this case, this case that have all been the same as us. Why not? You can't sort of turn around during a season and change your perspective. I think you need to. They're stuck with it for the rest of this season.
Probably. The end of that comment is exactly how I feel over it.
Yeah, but it's not cheating because it's if it operates within the rules, it's not cheating. You could argue it's gamesmanship, it's being cute, it's bending the rules to their absolute maximum, but it's not breaking them. But I think they need, in the closed season, once this season's over, they need to tighten that rule up. Absolutely ridiculous.
Massively.
And I agree with that. These teams that are playing catch up, the Premier League season ends when it ends. So if you've got to play 2 games in 3 days for a week or 2, you made your bed, you got to lie in it. Done.
Yeah. So. Without a doubt. If I can just click on this.
Nope.
Now, mind your cameras, guys and girls, because there is someone in this picture that might crack your screen. Look at that lovely bug.
Oh, that's a lovely. Who's that stood to your right immediately, Duke? That young lady.
Oh, I think her name's Kerry. I don't care. See, if people want to see it, they look closely at the screen. Kerry's got a bit of a woo up here on her hair. She's got like a wavy bit in the middle, and then shouted at us because we didn't tell her she had the wavy bit up in her head. Oh. Like that's my problem. You know what I mean? It's not my problem.
Oh dear.
It was a good day. I worked while they were here. I kept going over there. And
the rules are an ass, Steve. You're right. And like I say, these teams are not fundamentally breaking the rule, because if you read the rule, they're operating within it. They're probably taking it to its absolute maximum, but they're not breaking the rule. But the rule is an ass. But I don't think you can do anything about it now, because, as I say, if you turned around to a team from this point on and said, no, you've got to play that game, and they turn around and go, well, hang on a minute, you've cancelled this fixture, this fixture, this fixture, this fixture, this fixture, when those teams were in exactly the same boat as us. So I think we're stuck with it for this season. But it's incumbent upon the Premier League that once this season's out of the way, that rule is tightened, and it's no longer injuries and suspensions that are party to it. It's you if you have to, it doesn't matter all this about, oh well, we can put under 23s in and we can put under 18s in, but they haven't got any experience in the Premier League. Well, this is their opportunity then, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is their opportunity. If you know, oh, this is what they're doing. They're turning around saying, "Oh, well, we've got players that could play." I mean, Arsenal had a game in the under-23s. I think it was 2 days before the North London derby, and because these are players that here and there, they haven't got any first team experience. Well, they're about to get it, then, aren't they? They're about to get it. Crack on with it, but it's too late.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I hope so, Tom. I hope so.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath, I've got to say. But there you go. Can't find it. Oh dear.
Yeah, no,
Anyway.
Cyber was here on Sunday, and I've got a picture of myself, Cyber, and Logan. Yeah, it was. I can't find it. 5
5 foot 1.8. The extra
The
0.8 makes all the difference.
So Happy told me earlier. Sorry, Kerry told me that if I had 0.8, it would make all the difference.
Mean. She hates that name. You know that, don't you?
I know, Rob.
She also hates the names Derek and Douglas.
Yes, and she also thinks that I have the stupidest name out of all of us, which is why Kerry gets called Kerry, Robert. You know.
I don't know what Kerry's marital status is. I don't know if she's married, single, whatever. I've never.
After seeing her today, I can't. Well, no. I'm going to be nice, Rob. I'm going to be nice.
What?
I was going to be a bit harsh, but I mean,
well, no, all I was going to say is if let's just say for the purposes of a discussion that she's single, and let's just say she meets a bloke that she's absolutely blown away by, and then she says, "What's your name?" and he says, "Derek Douglas."
Yeah, I can imagine we'd see a blur, a 5 foot 1.8 blur, coming flying past us as she legs it.
Derek Douglas, pleased to meet you.
But then I say a blur, it'll only be her legs. She wouldn't be going very fast because they're quite short.
You know, he could be exactly everything that she's ever looked for in a bloke, you know, in terms of, you know, stature, in terms of his looks, in terms of his personality.
Today.
Well, yeah, other than you.
Yeah.
But, and then when he turns around and says, "My name's Derek Douglas," you wouldn't see her for dust. Or would you? Well, I don't know.
Listen, she could just hide because she's quite small. She could hide behind one of the stalls. She's lovely. She's lovely.
Budgie's giving you a shout out.
Budge, listen, buddy, it was, I've got to say, right, for the three of you guys that came to my pub today, it was my pleasure. Like, honestly, you know, obviously myself and Rob have been doing this for some time now, and we've met, we've been introduced to a wider world of West Ham fans that we would never have met. And to have you three guys come down to me today, to have Cyber come down and see me yesterday, it's have you got that one, Rob? It's amazing. You got it. It's amazing, and I'll be honest with you, it made my day. You know, I saw the three guys walk through the door today, and I just had a big smile on my face. You know, we went round by the pool table, we had a chat. You know, like I say, Cyber came over yesterday. You know, he walked through the pub, and he was standing next to me for a couple of minutes without even talking to me. I didn't talk to him. I didn't even see him, to be honest with you. I was so focused on the game, and he hang on a minute, Rob. I'm just going to put someone in a timeout.
Oh, no, you're not, are you?
No, I'm not. No. I can't imagine she'd talk to me again.
Maybe that's your strategy. I don't know.
But that's what I need. No, it was lovely to have you three here with me today. You know, Gatesy, you've been over. Cyber came over yesterday. As Steve and Cyber alluded to earlier, to be honest with you, Cyber, I mentioned to you the other day about the 6th. I forgot all about the 5th. Now, I'd like to be able to do something at my pub on the 5th. And the Rob, why? What? Why? You know what I mean, Happy? You know what I mean. There's the boy. He knows. Him and Budge met in the toilets at the pub. I think is that right,
Again,
Cam? Did you?
bit of cottaging.
You know, I said to Cyber about our anniversary meet up, Rob, about doing something for our anniversary. Now,
Well,
I've
I
got
told you the 6th I'm away, didn't I?
yeah, no, you're away on the 6th because but the 6th isn't our anniversary, is it? It's the 9th is our anniversary. Am I right in thinking?
I think you are mistaken.
Okay, I'm mistaken.
I think you'll find that our first broadcast was on the 7th, and the channel essentially was set up the day before, wasn't it?
Possibly. Anyway,
So,
on the 5th,
I'll
when
be
we
at the Circus
play,
Tavern, Tom, watching the darts.
yeah, you're doing the darts, aren't you? We'll do something. Maybe the day. In fact, to be honest with you, Tom, for those that can't get tickets to the cup game against Kidderminster, I want to do something here, not in the stadium.
You heard about that?
No.
There was a rumour doing the rounds that Kidderminster were looking to swap the fixture and have it at London Stadium. Now, I didn't think that they were allowed to do that.
Well, listen, whatever happens, you are a fiend. Come on, be honest.
Is that fiend or friend?
Both. If it's still at the Kidderminster ground and people are happy to, it's going to block off an area in my pub where if we can get as many of you wonderful people out there in YouTube land and happy, if you want to come. I can't be dealing with a shit, Rob.
It's up to you if you want a banner. I'm not going to do it. She's never done anything against me.
Yeah, if you guys want to come over for the Kidderminster game, I will block off an area in the pub and we can get as many of you wonderful people out there in YouTube land to come on over, have a few beers. I'll make sure I've got the day off. Rob, I know you're at the Circus having the day after, but you know, shall we do it? Should we have a full from my
I'll be around on
YouTube
the 5th.
meetup? The Kidderminster
unless of course unless of course they do transfer it to London Stadium, which I don't think they can.
It's going to be funny on my YouTube channel, Rob.
Okay.
Say I hate happiness, but without the H.
No, you rude little sod.
I hate happiness.
He says, say I hate happiness without the H's.
I hate a penis.
I hate a penis.
Okay.
That laugh. He met Happy and the guys earlier, and they loved him. Yeah, I hate a penis. Yeah, he's famous, Rob. They all told him that he's famous because they know him from YouTube.
Oh.
He's famous on my dad's channel. That's what he said. So he's a little bastard. He's run off there.
Cyber
yeah. Cyber, yeah. Cyber gave him some cookies yesterday. God bless him.
Oh.
No, yeah, yesterday it was. So False Ryan, get together for the Kidderminster game. Please, all of you come. Happy, you are invited, but don't feel it's essential you need to come.
Ooh. Now.
It's two can play that game.
Final thoughts on the Leeds game, Duke? Where do we go from here?
The players are knackered. We need reinforcements rapidly. Otherwise, what we saw against Leeds is only going to get worse as the season progresses. We are lucky.
It was Southampton all over again, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Again, conversations heard. Yeah, I had this conversation with someone in the pub yesterday. That it's Bielsa. Can I stand in the middle and pretend I'm skiing?
I'm gonna use the bogs in Nando's.
Anyway,
don't start.
Yeah, no, it was Southampton all over again. The players
Yeah.
looked absolutely fucking cream crackers. Would you take it off and put it in the washing machine, Hat? No, I can't do this anymore, Rob. She's driving me up the fucking wall. I've only met her once. I will. I told you I'll go skiing.
There's going to be kids watching this. Daddy, what does he mean?
I'm going skiing. That's what I mean.
Fair enough. Back in the
We
room.
need 4 players.
We need 4 play. Oh, 4 players. Sorry.
4
Misheard you.
4 players for before the end of this week, really.
Do you
We need
honestly
4
think we're going to get 4?
I don't think we're going to, but we need 4.
I think we'll probably be lucky if we get 2.
I was about to say the same thing. We need 4. We'll be lucky if we get 2.
I mean,
I'd
we're
love to see
17 days in and we haven't
Yeah.
made one. Not even a
This should have
loan.
already been done, and I'm worried Epic's right.
Yeah,
I'm worried Epic's
again, it
right.
wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me. I think, like I say, we'll be lucky if we get 2. So I'm not setting my bar very high on that. I couldn't possibly comment happy. I'm sorry.
Terry, Rob, you're spelling that's spelled wrong.
No comment. The women have signed 3.
I have.
Any chance they can go on our bench? Or is that not allowed?
Tell you what, I wish the men had the same sort of passion as Little Miss Longhurst after her goal against the Spuds.
Yeah,
You
she
know,
hates Spud. She's a West Ham fan, so.
Yeah, I know, but listen, I'd rather see the boys' passion from what she had yesterday. Great goal, by the way. Really well taken header. I've got to give her that.
Yeah. Right. Shall we...
Budge, don't talk shit. Budgie, talk be that. No.
Is that right?
Oh, Kieran.
Okay.
Wow.
That does strike me as rather odd.
And then why would they, without being rude, why would they cross paths in the grand scheme of things?
They both work for the same company, essentially, and they both occupy the same role. Just one's for the men's team, one's for the women's. I'd have thought there'd be some sort of cross-pollination, some sort of, brainstorming.
Wow, what are you talking about now?
No. I'm just saying, David Moyes probably has quite an awful lot of advice that he could give to Ollie Harder, the women's coach, but
speak of that, yeah.
But hey ho.
Oh, there's fighting talk. There's fighting talk right there.
Don't know about that. He didn't have a great game yesterday, it has to be said, but no, I still think he's a great player. And I know someone in the chat that likes him. So, there she is. I knew she'd have something to say.
She always has something to say, even if it's not relevant to the conversation. She always has something to say.
Right, should we knock it on the head there, my friend?
Yeah, just quickly, Simon's just put something to you before you do your last little gump there.
Mm-hmm.
Your last little bit for that young lady.
Good lad. Well, those of you watching know the drill.
There it is.
Isla is in need. Her family are in need. You know the story. I'm not going to repeat myself. You know where we're at with this. Let's get behind it. That information on that banner, you will find that exact text in the description below YouTube and Facebook, and you can copy and paste it and put it onto your socials. There is no excuse other than you just can't be asked. That's pretty much it there in a nutshell. Harsh, but true. Put it onto your socials. Get the message out there. There's a young girl out there that needs our help, and time really is of the essence. No donation is too small. You've got a Just Giving link there if you wish to chuck a couple of quid into the pot. There's no donation you could give that is too small. But as always, guys, we ask you to give as generously as you can. And as always, we thank you very much indeed for your attention in this matter. And please don't forget to like, comment on and share the stream. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for alerts on new content. And as always, we thank you very much indeed for your support. And just before I bring it to an end, Budgie's just saying well done to Siver, nothing personal to Manu at all. 79 pence. It's nothing in the grand scheme of things, but it's makes an awful lot of difference to a family out there that have had an absolute shit time of the last 5 or so years, watching their daughter battle against all odds, and yeah, we know the rest. Thanks very much, Happy. Do appreciate it.
Don't I exist, no?
Of course you do. Cyber's giving you.
Yeah, you left, Rob. You left his group chat. You left his group chat. No, 24 hours, mate. I mean, there's just no need. No need, Rob.
It was about bloody Sainsbury's vouchers. I was like, what's this? Listen, it was nothing personal, but I get all sorts of messages coming through to me.
I'm like, too many.
Seriously, my phone does not stop. And I was looking at this and I'm like, this is about some sort of voucher to do with Sainsbury's and Tesco's. And I'm like, I'm sorry, it's just not for me. Nothing personal.
Not for you. No, listen. He didn't take it personally. Don't worry about it.
No, good.
Cheers, bud. Cheers, guys.
There you go.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Anyway, right, I'm going to clear off. Final word, Duke.
Yeah, Rob, it's been a pleasure. I'm glad I managed to get on. She can go do something, and I shall. Well, I'll see you as we end the stream, mate. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'll see everyone else down the line.
Do you want to say your little outro, your little statement? Even though we lost.
I do believe we are fucking massive everywhere we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Indeed.
Anyway, thanks for joining us. Stay safe. Come on, you irons.